What's going on, y'all? It's your girl, Miss J. I keep telling y'all, we outside. It's still nice down here in the A, and we are here for a brunch, an exclusive private brunch with the sexy, handsome, and fine men, okay, from the new Hulu show, Reasonable Doubt. Make sure y'all stay tuned because we got exclusive interviews with all 4 of the men, 4 to 5 leading men of the show. Stay tuned. We got those coming up very soon for y'all. You ready?
We're ready.
We're going to do it together, like, because you still going to be putting the hot seat or the hot bench.
We're going to put them in the hot seat.
What's going on, y'all? It's your girl, Miss J. I keep telling y'all, we are outside. We are here having a brunch with the handsome, sexy gentleman, okay? From Kerry Washington's newest show on Hulu, Reasonable Doubt. Y'all, if you have not been watching, you need to tune in. I'm going to give them all the opportunity to introduce themselves, their characters, and then we got a few questions because, baby, I need some answers. So we are going to start on the end with Tim.
I am Tim Joe, and I play Daniel Kim, the private investigator on Reasonable Doubt.
Hello, my name is Sean Patrick Thomas. I play Braden Miller, who's the subject of a murder investigation on Reasonable Doubt.
My name is McKinley Freeman. I play Lewis Stewart, owner of Many Complications.
That's a good one. What's up? It's Victor Rasuk. I play Mike Ortiz on Reasonable Doubt.
Alrighty. All right, gentlemen. So my first question, at the beginning of this brunch, you guys were all talking about your experience with Onyx and how it has been so different for you, especially with you guys being minorities and being in this industry. Can you guys talk about the experience so that our listeners and viewers can hear about it?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think for me and for a lot of people, I think what Onyx represents is an opportunity for representation, to see that there are lots of different kinds of people of color, not just the ones that we're comfortable seeing or are used to seeing. And I think being able to see that, Black people, Korean people, Latin people, we're whole individuals, not just summations of ideas, you know. And I think being able to do that in a way that's not only entertaining, but also in a way that people can see themselves on screen is important.
For us, you know, doing this show, what it feels like to me is an opportunity for all of us to show that all different types of people of color can do high quality television that's not just aimed at a certain niche or a certain demographic. You can have a diverse cast with excellent writing that can appeal to anybody. So even though the cast looks like this, anybody can watch the show and enjoy it.
I mean, yeah, as artists that look like us, we're always fighting for acceptance, but you come to a home like Onyx and you're embraced. Your story's embraced. The way you look is embraced. And on top of that, you're valued and you're championed. And so Onyx is different. It works different. It's a special place in Hollywood that I'm happy to be a part of, and I hope everyone supports.
I was just
gonna say I'm piggybacking off of you guys. But no, it's all good. I was gonna say that I think as an artist, and I don't want to speak for you guys, but I think that it's always bigger than just us, you know, as actors, right? Like, it's always that we have a responsibility to represent our respective, you know, wherever we come from, whoever we are, right? And I think that I am super proud to be a part of something that's seldom, that is, as you said earlier, made by us, for us, and Onyx is doing a great job, and I'm super happy to be a part of that.
All right, so let's get into the nitty gritty, okay? We're gonna get to the meat and potatoes because I'm coming to you first, Lewis.
That's you.
Exactly. So we see you all have some type of relationship with Jax. For those who don't know, she is like the leading lady of the show. She's a badass defense attorney. Lewis, is her husband, McKinley, that you play.
Yes.
And, you know, when I first watched the first episode, she wakes up, she goes for her jog, you guys go to church together, but then we find out that you guys are living in 2 separate homes. You've hired a private security guard to sit outside of the house to make sure her and the kids are safe at all times. Yeah. But then the security guard, he gets fired possibly, or he quits. Yeah, and then we see there's a security camera in the corner of the living room, and you're watching her and the security guard having sex on the couch. Now, I need some details. I need to know, what were your thoughts initially when you first read this script, and what is the story behind the security camera?
Listen, first of all, shout out to Emma Yatsu. She's killing it as Jax. She carries this world and creates an environment that allows all of us to kind of shine and work off one another. So props to Emma Yatsu, props to Ramla, Carey, everybody else. And as far as, you know, there's a lot going on. I think, you know, I think one of the things that with Jackson Lewis's relationship is that it's a situation where there's lots of times where we say what we would or wouldn't do. But then when you fall in love and you have a life, like, all those rules go out the window and you have to reconcile the positions and the ideas and all the things that you have in life versus the reality and what's in front of you. And I think that's part of the thing with Jackson Lewis. And as far as the cameras go, I mean, you got cameras at home, don't you? Everybody got seen. I got a Ring camera. Everybody got cameras
outside. It's not pointing towards my couch when I'm having sex with it. And you're watching it.
Wait a minute. So I got no comment. I can't really. Nah, but I think, you know, I think the great thing about this story is that I think over time people start to understand, because the writing is so good, that that everything makes sense in time. And I think that's the real cool thing about this world. But yeah, it's definitely when Emma Yatsu and I read that in the script, we were both like, we literally called each other like, what is called Rama, like, what is happening right now? But yeah, it's one of those things where y'all expression was the same as ours when we read it. So yeah.
Brayden,
yes.
He goes and he asks Jax for help because you are dealing with some legal issues.
Yes.
With a former employee who is also a former lover who is accusing you of sexually assaulting her.
That's correct.
However, in episode 2, she ends up mysteriously dying. And it is now being investigated as a murder.
Yes.
And you are now being investigated as a suspect in her murder.
Correct.
Can you tell us who really killed her?
No, I can't.
Can you give us a hint?
I can tell you that it's somebody that has passed the screen. You have seen them at least once on the show so far. I will say that.
Okay.
And so it's not going to be somebody you have never seen before.
I'm sorry, Installers. I thought I was going to get y'all the inside scoop, but that's not going to happen. Tim, you play Daniel. You play one of her right-hand men. You go out, you go in, and you're getting evidence that the police are not even presenting. Tell us how you prepare for that role.
How do I prepare for that kind of role? You know, I sort of see Daniel and Crystal being part of Jax's core team, right? I would say Crystal's her cat, and I'm her little dog. So with me, she says, fetch, I'll fetch it. You know, no questions asked. And then with Crystal, she might have a lot to say about it, but then she will get it. But yeah, that's how I operate. I just studied my dog. You know, through a little trick. Yeah, just studied my dog and saw, checked his loyalty, and then, put that on Daniel and give that to Jax.
Real quick, Daniel and Angela do such a great job in supporting Emma Yatsu's character, and makes that world very real, along with Chris Casarino. But Daniel, the world that they create as a team fills out that courtroom, and I think that's really, really, really important.
Well, y'all got to keep on watching. All right, so playing the DEA agent, how did you prepare for this role? And we see you coming in and you're investigating, you're asking questions to Brayden that you probably didn't have the rights to do without his attorney present. Tell us about that situation.
Well, it sucks because I love Sean, especially that I've got to meet him and get to know him while we were shooting, and it sucked that I had to sort of try to prosecute you during the trial. Playing the deputy district attorney, I went to the Los Angeles district attorney where O.J. Simpson and all these big trials had happened down in downtown Los Angeles, and I got to sit through a murder trial, which I can't really disclose too much information. But I was able to see and sit and see what what the stakes were and how like the stakes were raised, and it was like no joke. So I just kind of brought that to the role, and of course having Emma Yahtzee kind of work off of, she made me step my game up, and you know, big shout out to Emma Yahtzee. And yes, that's kind of how I prepare for the district attorney.
All right, and Sean, you and Michael Ealy, you guys have both starred in Save the Last Dance back in 2001.
He wasn't in Save the Last Dance.
I'm sorry, not Save the Last Dance, Barbershop.
Maybe
I'm
he
sorry.
wasn't, I missed it.
No. I'm sorry, you're correct. Y'all were in Barbershop together.
We
So
were in
how does
Barbershop
it feel
together,
for you guys to now be rekindling that relationship and friendship and being back on the screen again together?
It's an unbelievable feeling. I mean, Mike and I, we had such a good time working on Barbershop, and it was really an opportunity for both of us to do something that we hadn't really gotten a chance to do on screen before. And to still be in the game 20 years later on a project of this caliber, of this quality, it just makes me feel really proud of him, and just grateful that we still have the opportunities to tell these types of stories and play these different types of characters. And I just love what Mike is doing on the show. He's just really just bringing all kinds of flavors and colors to the character of Damon, and so it's just exciting to watch him, and I just love being with him and Carrie again.
Awesome. All right, so that leads me to my last question for everybody. How was it working with Kerry Washington? She's producing this show, she's directing it, she's just got her hand in every single pot and aspect of it. So I just want to know, what was it like working with her, especially you seeing her from Save the Last Dance? That's the reference.
Right.
From Save the Last Dance,
Yeah.
you guys were brother and sister on the movie together.
We were. I mean, obviously, Carrie's just an incredible person, just starting with that, period. And then if you take it from there, she has such incredible taste that working with her, I just trusted her in terms of where she wanted to go with the scene, where she wanted to go with the character. I feel like her having directed the pilot episode, she really gave me a good grounding in who Braden was going to be. And she really helped me solidify that and just give me a perfect jumping off point to continue with the episodes after that. And so I'm just very proud of her, just like with Mike, just because we all started so young, and just to see how she has become somebody who is the total package in this game. Yeah. And I have mad respect for her.
Awesome. What about you, McKinley?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's very much a lot of the same things. I would say that my first, kind of interaction with Carrie was during the audition process, and for me, with I was working on another show, and I was sending in tapes and doing like my callbacks and stuff on Zoom across country. But I could tell that Carrie, Ramla, Larry, all the producers were so dope. They were like super inviting, super collaborative, and I just remember Carrie specifically like giving me the freedom to create. She's like, just do it. You know what you're doing, just go. And I'm like, that's, as a creative person, that's what you like to hear. So being able to not only work with somebody that's seen so much and can speak to us shorthand because she's been there, but also being in a position where she's confident and has enough trust in us to be able to run with it. And I think that's part of the part with the characters. There's so much nuance, is because we really did have the freedom to create, which is exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but Carrie and I, we go way back because we're both from New York, and we met around the same time Sean and her did Save the Last Dance. And Carrie, what I love about Carrie is that she's constantly pushing the envelope for someone at that place in her career who doesn't necessarily need to. And I always love that about her and respect that. And even when we were younger doing plays that like nobody would ever see, and then seeing her doing Broadway was like it blew me away, that just like how she's always challenging herself. And even in this case, like producer, director, also there was times when we were on set and like she would give me notes, or like she would, she'd always, I can't explain. I think Sean really touched on it too, where like she just always challenges herself, and like I'm just so proud of how and where she has pushed herself to this point in her career and in her personal life too.
I mean, just going off of that, I mean, for me, I didn't know Carrie other than the icon that she is. She's a humongous, she's a living legend right now. She's built an incredible career. So I just came in being at first sort of a fan and a little nervous because I haven't met that many like larger than life people like Carrie, who's so successful. But you get on set and like Victor said, she's getting her feet she's getting her hands dirty, and she's there every day with us. And she's not just a name on the show. She's not just vouching for it. The show is, it is Carrie. As much Ramla and Carrie and Larry, they're really putting their feet in it. Yeah. And so if you're a fan of any of those three, then the show's definitely for you.
And I will say my piece about this show. I love this show.
Hold the mic while you say
Sure, absolutely. I actually think that that Jax's co-worker is possibly one of the suspects.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
I think that he had something to do with that. I also think that the show is awesome. Anybody who has not watched it, you need to tune in, especially if you love Scandal. It gives me that kind of feel with that leading black, strong lady. There's so many twists and turns. There's so many questions. It leaves you on the edge of your seat. You're looking forward to the next episode. So yes, if you have not tuned in, there's still time for you to tune into this season because there's about 3 more episodes left. And I'm looking forward to episode 6 because I got a whole lot more questions that need to be answered, and hopefully they get answered in episode 6.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. So McKinley, Freeman, Victor, Sean, Tim, live live with InStyle Atlanta. Reasonable Doubt. Check it out.
Check it out on Hulu.
Thanks for being our guest.
Thanks for being having you. It was great having you. Can you get her party gifts for me?
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you following all these guys. Can you guys tell us really quickly how we can follow you on social media and stay up to date with what you have going on?
Good. At Victor Rasuk on Instagram. At McKinley Freeman on Instagram.
At Sean P. Thomas on Instagram.
At Hello Tim Joe at Instagram.
Hello Tim Joe. Okay, you guys heard it first here on InStyle Atlanta and Juicy Pop with your girl Miss J. We will talk to y'all soon.
Let's go. All right. Thank you.
Thank you guys. That was awesome.
That was amazing at the end.
Thank you.